Welcome to the Podcast Interview Marketing Show. Every podcast should have a big idea, a problem that it's trying to solve in the world, a problem that can be solved through conversations. Now, see if any of these resonate with you. You see, today in business, I think there are three big problems. The first one's obscurity. I believe that obscurity is every company's biggest problem. Your customers, your clients, they don't buy the best. They buy the best they know of. And if they don't know of you, whether you're in version 1 or 100, they can't buy from you. So how do you break through that obscurity? That's a question. Now, the second problem is that people will tell you is that you need to break through the noise. Well, how's that working out for you? I think if we're honest, we can say that we're not breaking through the noise. At best, we're probably adding to the noise. You see, people that are telling us to break through the noise, they're the ones that are selling us the megaphones to tell us to get louder and louder and louder. They're saying, do more, be more, buy more ads. Well, I believe that more is not better. Bigger is not better. You know what is better? Better is better. Now, the third problem, I'd call it almost a lie today, is that you need to be everywhere. You need to be everywhere your clients are. And it makes me think of a client that came to us. And I love why he said he chose to do podcast interview marketing. Now, he's a high-level coach, a high-level consultant. And I love what he said, that he saw most digital marketing, most social media as the digital equivalent of advertising above a urinal. Now, I laughed and I said, you got to explain this one to me. And he said, well, my clients are high level. If they see me advertising a park bench, if they see me on a bus advertisement, if they see me above a urinal, that's a reason not to work with me. The same way, if they see me on Facebook doing some masterclass or on Instagram doing that 10-day challenge, or God forbid on TikTok doing some dance, that destroys my brand. It's a reason not to hire me. And he said he didn't want to be part of any of that. So if that resonates with you, I think you're going to like this podcast. Now, this podcast has been in the making for 9 years. That's how long we've been working on podcast interview marketing. And we want to share with you and everyone. You see, it's time to hit record and share what we know. My name is Tom Schwab. I'm the founder of Interview Valet. I'm also the Chief Evangelist Officer. I wrote a book called Podcast Guest Profits, How to Grow Your Business with a Targeted Interview Strategy. Some people have called it the Bible of podcast guesting. I don't know if that's a compliment, right? I don't know if they like the original Bible. All I know that lots of people have read it. Agencies have been launched around the world based on the knowledge. I've been called the godfather of podcast interview marketing. I've been doing it since 2014. And really, it's a spin-off of inbound marketing. Instead of using guest blogs, we're using podcast interviews to grow your business. Now, we'll also have the team from Interview Valet. We've been around since 2016. We're the leaders, the category king and queens of podcast interview. But it's not about us. It's about you. So who is this for? This podcast, the Podcast Interview Marketing Show, is for business owners, thought leaders, and marketing professionals. People that focus on relationship sales. Those are the high value, high touch, high relationship sales. This could be high-level coaches or high-level consultants, leading brands or brands that are trying to launch a new category. It could be for nonfiction authors, especially when they're using the book to drive something in the business. It's also used for thought leaders in higher education. So much of today is not what we say about ourselves, but what others say about us. So when you Google someone, are they finding out what kind of authority you are out there? So it's also for people that look at this and say the world's getting more efficient at things that are getting less effective. We don't need more emails, more posts, because effective conversations done at scale are powerful. It's a powerful marketing channel. So instead of going to trade shows or physical stages and flying everywhere to talk, you can talk to your clients, talk to your customers throughout the world, throughout time on podcast interviews. You see, if you're just doing transactions, you can buy traffic. But if you realize that whales don't click and big fish don't swim through funnels, then you need to look at another marketing channel. So who is this not for? Well, if somebody just wants to use podcast appearances to get famous or just make a lot of money or thinks it's a silver bullet, it's not going to work for you. You see, this is a marketing strategy, not some hack. It's also good for people that have a regional, global, or national reach. So if you're just doing very geographically limited commerce, it's probably not going to work for you. So what's the podcast going to look like? Well, the format's going to be very consistent. We're going to start off with that big idea. What's that one thing we're trying to solve in that episode? Then we're going to jump into the expert interview. It could be with someone on our team, one of our clients. It could be a podcast host. It could be an industry leader, but someone that can bring the expertise and actionable advice on how you can implement that big idea today. Then we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up with a what's next. What do you need to do after this? You see, just knowledge is not power. I often say that the biggest lie I've ever read is on my ring from the Naval Academy. It says, knowledge is sea power. That's a lie, and you know it. The most powerful business is not the smartest one. The most powerful person is not the smartest one. The most powerful bodybuilder or lifter is not the smartest one. It's the one that can apply. And we realize that no matter how great the podcast is, you can't solve all the problems in 30 minutes. So we want you to have more. So we'll have extra resources after every episode that you can take, learn, and apply. I hope you'll check out the Podcast Interview Marketing Show. You know, there's a lot of problems in the world today, but I believe there's no better time to be alive. With the tools that we have, we can learn what other people are doing. We can learn the best practices. We can use those in order to connect and have meaningful conversations at scale with your ideal clients. You can use what we teach. You can make this world a better place. I often say to our team and to our clients that today more than ever, the world needs to hear you. What's ordinary to you is amazing to others. Right now, there are people on their knees praying for your solution. The problem is they don't know you exist. Let's change that with podcast interview marketing. Check out the show for ideas and actionable advice on how you can use targeted podcast interviews as a real marketing strategy to grow your business, to grow your brand, to impact the world, to add value. And when you add value, you gain profits.